Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my new video on the top 5 tips that every single Nami player needs to know. My name is LowFit. I do educational content. I do tip videos like this, and then I do guide videos and opposition report videos where I go over how to beat certain types of champions. If you want to get a hold of me, I have a Discord link down in the description if you want to have a live chat, if you want some more tips or an OPGG review, whatever suits your boat. I'm a D4 player. I play mid, top, and support mostly, and I wanted to talk about Nami, one of my favorite lane boys in the bot lane. So let's just dive right into the first tip. Alright, and let's talk about one of the biggest parts of her laning phase. We got to go over the Aqua Prison, a very strong ability that is an AoE stun. Let's just talk about it. Is a little bit difficult to land because it does a reticule and it gives some chance for people to react. So you want to look for guaranteed frames, and when I say guaranteed frames, I mean right when you see an auto attack getting locked in. That's when you want to be throwing it. So right when you see Nami throwing it, wanted to hit this guy, right when she's about to do her auto attack, I throw it at her. Also, another easy way to guarantee a bubble is by just chasing them down with your E, slowing them with the auto attack into the stun. This is going to give you definitely a better success of hitting it. And then also, the kitty's going crazy. And then also, you can do of course, an ult into bubble. So there's a couple ways to look at the bubble. Just make sure you're not just throwing it blind at people that are just trying to run. You can also use it as a zoning tool when they're running in the phase, but that is definitely not the most optimal way of using it. Either give the E to your ally for them to slow the target and then throw it. And then also, this is a great way to increase the CC chain. If you have some CC on your team and you wait for someone to land it, if you just throw it at the end of that CC, that is a perfect way to look at it. So that will wrap up number 1. Alright, and number 2, I just want to talk over something that's not really micro play, but something that you should be looking for when you're playing Nami. Let's go over her laning phase. She is so strong in the early laning phase with the base damages of her W and her E increasing her auto attacks. Sometimes she can even solo out carries because of her high damage. So always look to abuse the early and mid game with Nami. She is really squishy in the late game and she can get killed pretty quickly. So try and get your team as far ahead as possible with Nami. She's also an okay roamer if you want to look to set up a gank with your E into Q into R. That is also a great way to do it. I'd recommend taking something like Ignite. You can go a little bit more defensive with Exhaust, but Ignite really accentuates Nami's power in the early and mid game. Alright, let's just jump right into number 3. I want to talk about the optimal Nami pick. Now, first up, let's just talk about what she pairs well with in lane. She pairs extremely well with champions that are aggressive. One of my favorite partners with Nami is Draven, because Draven is able to get his movement speed with his W and then do really strong trades with his Q, and your E further enables the Draven by giving him a slow and being able to chase them down that much easier. So look to take Nami with lane bullies, or you can sometimes take her with weaker champions and try and just kind of get them out of the laning phase with your superior laning. So the second type of champion that I think Nami works extremely well with, this is going to be a little bit weird, a little bit odd, probably you haven't thought of this yet, but she has an amazing disengage with her ult and with her Q. So really, Nami is just an amazing pick with split pushers actually, because she can really enable the 4-man group to not get engaged on by the 5-man group, and then it enables your split pusher to take towers at will. So she is a great pick with things like Tryndamere, things like Jax, you know, all the split pushing champions, because she's going to enable so many getaways that she's just such a strong champion. She's similar to Janet in that respect. Her ult is going to kind of slow them and stun them with the Q, and you're just going to be able to get away scot-free. So look to take Nami with those type of champions, and I think you will be in a great spot. Alright, and for number 4, I'm going to jump into some of the runes and items that work extremely well on Nami. First up, I think this is an absolute must. If you are not taking this keystone, you are doing yourself an extreme disservice. You need to be taking Summoner Aerie, because the way it works is you're able to proc shields on allies that you are actually eating. So it gives you a shield Obviously I don't have Airy because it's just kind of a troll build. I wanted to see what it looked like. But when you put the E on someone, it will give them a shield, and then also it will proc off your W, of course. But if you already use your W and you want to give them another shield and your Airy came back to you, I think that it is just such a strong pick. It also enables your early trades and your poking. This is really just all around the best keystone, and never take anything else on it unless Summoner Airy gets severely nerfed. Now let's talk about some of the items. I don't think that she has one extremely cookie cutter build, because you kind of need to build to accentuate your teammates' strengths. So if you have a lot of ADCs, say you have a Quinn in the top lane, a Kindred out of the jungle, and maybe a Vayne or Kai'Sa in the bot lane, you might want to take a look at something like Arden. It is still holds merit in those kind of situations where you have a lot of ADCs that are going to greatly benefit from it. And then also, if maybe you have a little bit more of like the Swain type of ADC and you don't really have too many marksmen, you can look into things like Locket and Redemption that are just going to help with team fights and stunting a little bit of the AoE damage. And then of course you can be a little bit more aggressive if they have a magic damage heavy team and you want to provide a bit of healing and then also get a little bit of damage. You can go with Athene's Unholy Grail. Also works extremely well because you are dealing out a decent amount of damage in team fights on Nami. And then also a surprisingly good pick on her if you have a fed marksman and you're just looking to protect him as much as possible and enhance his damage as much as possible. Zeke's is actually a decent spot if they have like lethality and maybe you just need an armor from some sort of source. It's a great pickup, and it also provides a lot of utility with the slow around you, and then it also gives your ADC a lot of burn damage on those targets. So just kind of look to build of what you need. If maybe you're in a really heavy pick engaged comp, Shirelius is also a nice pick for Nami. So really try and build around your team. Don't be building the same exact thing on every single game and expect different results. So that will wrap up number 4. Alright, now on a different note, I want to talk about number 5. Now this is really important. All the pros do it, all the extremely good players, but I rarely see low elo Namis use this trick and this ability that you just have to know. So let's get into it. Let's just say you are team fighting. You are just destroying them. You're getting you're getting all your stuns off. You're doing your E correctly. You're hitting stuns. You got it. And then you win the team fight. It is something extremely important you have to do after that team fight, and you got to do a little dance. You just got to do it. It's gonna tilt the shit out of the enemy team, and it is a funny ass laugh. And sometimes this is just a great way to taunt people in lane, so look out for that. And that will wrap up the video, guys. If you have any questions for me, contact me in the Discord down below, or you can comment and I will see those. If you enjoyed the content, please remember to like and subscribe. If you want to see a certain champion next, you can maybe nominate it in the comments. I'm always checking that stuff out, and if you have any questions for me, just let me know. And as always, guys, take it easy.